The best TVs for gaming all share something in common, a really potent combo of key features and capabilities. And I'm going to tell you exactly what those are in a moment, because knowing what to look for, and in some cases what you don't need to look for, at least based on your needs, is I think more important than just knowing what the absolute best models are. Although, if you're just here for that, I've got you covered too. Stick around because I aim to make this the only gaming TV video that you need to watch before you click that buy button. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and if you don't know me, I've been a professional TV reviewer for 14 years, and I am excited to share with you my picks for the best gaming TVs. And for any of you who already have a certain make or model of TV in mind, please don't be disappointed if your pick isn't on this list. It's entirely possible the TV you're looking at might actually be the best choice for you. See, I'm gonna start this video by talking about what makes a TV great for gaming and why. What to look for, how much you do or don't need to spend based on what you need, and then, yes, I'll toss out my handpicked favorites to wrap it up. And I hope you all stick around to the end, because even if you don't plan on buying one of the TVs I'll recommend, hearing about why I think they're the best can help you make the best buying decision possible. And speaking of buying, I have links to all of the TVs I'm about to talk about down in the description below. And if you use those links, we get a small commission, which really helps the channel, and I do so much appreciate it. So over just the past couple of years, major TV brands have loaded lots of their TVs with gaming-friendly features like variable refresh rate, VRR for short, auto low latency mode, ALLM for short, and gaming dashboards that give you all kinds of control about how your TV acts and looks while playing games on your favorite game console or PC. So many TVs now have these options, in fact, that these features are hardly differentiators among the best gaming TVs anymore. The best gaming TVs have all of that stuff by default now. Even super low input lag is now pretty much a foregone conclusion, provided the TV has a game mode. And once again, every TV on this list has a game mode with super low input lag. So low, in fact, that if you need a lower input lag, then you're probably a hardcore competitive gamer and should probably be looking at a PC monitor instead of a TV. If most mid-range and virtually all high-end TVs have all that stuff, then what makes one TV better than another for gaming? Well, from my seat, it's the picture quality that you get in game mode that makes the biggest difference. That and whether the TV suits all of your other needs outside of gaming. Is it bright enough for the room that you'll put it in? Does it have the best picture for watching movies in a den or movie room? Is it easy to live with day to day? Does it have enough HDMI 2.1 ports? That kind of stuff. But one thing that I think is essential for any TV on which you'll play a lot of games is a 120 Hz native refresh rate. Frankly, I think that is the first spec or feature that folks should look for. Sure, many games never go higher than 60 Hz, but the best games do get up to 120 Hz. And aside from gaming, 120 Hz TVs just have better motion handling than 60 Hz TVs. Again, many of you casual game players don't have to have 120 Hz to enjoy playing games, but I do think that a 120 Hz native panel is generally a good sign of quality in a TV in general. And then, yeah, it does pay off to have that high refresh rate for certain games. From there, I think VRR, or variable refresh rate, is a nice to have option for most folks. If you're a serious gamer, then you already know that VRR is a must-have, so I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. Now, some TVs will flash FreeSync and G-Sync badges on their TV boxes, which can be a sign of high-quality VRR performance, but just because a TV doesn't have those badges doesn't mean it can't do VRR. If you look at the specs for a TV and it says VRR, yes, then you're getting VRR from your console or PC when the game supports it. Now, auto low latency mode, or ALLM, is sometimes printed on a box, but not always. Sometimes it's called auto game mode, and many modern TVs now support it. And this just means that when your TV sees a game, it can automatically switch to the game mode to give you low latency or low lag gameplay. It saves you a few button clicks, and it's just another nice to have. Finally, on the specs talk, I want to talk about HDMI 2.1 ports. HDMI 2.1 is the latest standard, and if the TV doesn't advertise that it has them, look for how many of the HDMI ports say 4K 120Hz or 4K 144Hz. If you're shopping online, the specs section should tell you, but you can always zoom in on the picture of the input bay on the back of the TV and do a little pixel peeping there. Now, many Samsung and LG TVs have 4 HDMI 2.1 ports. Most Sony, TCL, and Hisense TVs only have 2, and that goes for Panasonic as well. Now, I personally think most folks are going to be just fine with 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, but if one of those HDMI 2.1 ports is shared with the EARC port, and you plan on using a soundbar or an AV receiver-based surround sound system with your TV, just know that you're gonna have to decide between using that eARC port for your soundbar or AV receiver versus connecting 2 game consoles directly to the TV. So to sum all of that up, lots of TVs have all the gaming-friendly features that you want. What you really want to make sure is that you're getting a TV with at least 120 Hz native panel, that the TV is going to have enough HDMI 2.1 ports to make you happy, and then finally, you're going to want to know if the picture quality in the game mode is really good, because all of them are going to have sufficiently low input lag. And that is where this list comes in. And I'm going to start with the best cost-conscious gaming TV, and it turns out that it's a tie between the Hisense U7N and the TCL QM7. Now, if I had to show preference for the best budget-friendly gaming TV, I think I'd call it for the Hisense U7N. Now, the Hisense U6N is an even less expensive and great TV for playing games too, but where the U6N has a 60 Hz native panel, the U7N here goes up to 144 Hz and in 4K. It's got an aggressive mini LED backlighting system, which can produce astoundingly bright images and deep blacks with solid shadow detail. That means that you're gonna get stunning HDR and Dolby Vision gaming when your game supports it, and you'll get spectacular contrast and color. You'll be able to see all the details in the shadows. The U7N's picture in game mode is really solid. Maybe not as refined as that of some of my more expensive picks, but it avoids turning into a blown out, garish mess, which is really important to me. It also supports a great game bar, auto low latency mode, and VRR. Oh, and its EARC port is separated from the HDMI 2.1 ports, which I think is a smart design choice. Honestly, this is the most accessible high-performance gaming TV out there, and I highly recommend it. Tied with the Hisense U7N, though, is the TCL QM7. This is also an outstanding gaming TV. The only reason that I give preference to the Hisense U7N is because the Hisense had a slightly more accurate picture in its game mode without any adjustments when I tested it. Other than that, these TVs are neck and neck for brightness ability and gaming features. So really, it's a toss-up. I think y'all are gonna be thrilled with either one. I'm not done with mini LED TVs, but I am gonna shift to some OLED TVs now. Let's start with the LG C4, which I'm calling the must-have-it-all gaming OLED TV. Simply put, the LG C4 is the best OLED gaming TV for someone who wants to have all the bells and whistles, but doesn't want to pay primo bucks for the brighter LG G4 OLED. LG C4 distinguishes itself from my next pick by sporting just about every VRR and HDR certification there is, and that includes Dolby Vision. The C4 is just an outstanding TV in general and is amazing for playing games too. Next up is the Samsung S90D OLED, which frankly, I think is the smartest buy in high-end TVs this year. No, it does not support Dolby Vision, but I struggle to see that as a real negative for most folks. It does do HDR10 and HDR10 Plus, which many streaming services support. But what really makes the S90D stand out is the Samsung Gaming Hub, which supports a bunch of cloud-based gaming apps. You can play AAA titles with incredible graphics, no console required. Subscription is required, but you don't have to have console hardware. You just connect your favorite wireless gaming controller. It's got tremendous color output, perfect black levels, outstanding contrast. It's just an incredibly good TV, full stop, and especially awesome for gaming. Now, most folks don't need to look any higher than the LG C4 or the S90D. And Dolby Vision is the real differentiator there. LG has it and Samsung doesn't. Still, if you want the absolute best there is, well, that's where my next picks come in. The most stunning OLED TV for gaming is the LG G4. With its MLA or micro lens array OLED panel, the LG G4 comes off as the brightest, punchiest OLED TV you have ever seen. There are only two reasons I see to get the G4 over the aforementioned LG C4. One is the fact that it can get insanely bright and it's just simply stunning. The other is that LG offers a 5-year warranty on the LG G4 that covers burn-in. So if you are at all worried about burn-in from your gaming on your OLED, and most of you probably really don't need to be, well, the LG G4 is covered for up to 5 years thanks to LG's very high degree of confidence that you're not gonna get any burn-in, which, by the way, should tell you something right off the bat. Anyway, I love the LG G4 so much, and frankly, if I could toss any amount of money at a TV that I was gonna use exclusively for gaming, it would probably be the LG G4. But I would be remiss if I didn't also mention the outstanding Panasonic Z95A OLED in the same breath. It also has that stunning MLA OLED panel and Panasonic's incredible processing. It's just that you only get two HDMI 2.1 ports, one of which is shared with the eARC port, and, well, it runs Fire TV, which is a big con for me, but it might not be for you. For the best bright room OLED TV for gaming, it's the Samsung S95D. If you want an OLED for bright room use, be it for gaming, TV watching, or movie watching, well, I can't recommend the Samsung S95D enough. The anti-glare and anti-reflection system on this TV is sick, and it gets super bright too. In fact, its color brightness is technically higher than the LG G4. The S95D, with its 4 HDMI 2.1 ports, cloud gaming hub, incredible color and contrast, I mean, it's hard not to call it the best gaming TV ever made if it only had Dolby Vision. So that's my list. I hope you loved it, and I hope this video helps you pick the gaming TV that is best for you. Just a reminder that I have links to all these TVs at their best prices down below. And hey, if you found this video helpful, will you please share it out? Like and subscribe if you want to see more. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, here's 2 other videos I think you might like. You know what? What's going on here?